Our next guest is a Bible teacher, an international speaker, a TV host, and a global humanitarian. When she was ministering on the foreign mission field, an encounter changed her life forever. And in her new book, Hanging by a Thread, Sarah Bowling shares the story of the Saving Moses journey. Sarah, welcome to Real Life.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Real Life.
So great to be here.
You're just one of our favorites. We love your heart and your passion and the mission and the vision that you carry. Can you just update us real quick on Saving Moses? What is it before we dive into the book?
Sure. So Saving Moses is, we call it a global humanitarian organization. So we look after babies and toddlers, 0 to 5 years old, where the need is most urgent. So infant mortality is super high, where the care is least available. So where nobody's working in those spaces, that's our crosshairs. Okay. So we're looking for babies that have severe acute malnutrition, who are in very, very high risk, not kind of medium risk, but high risk environments, and even places where there's military conflict going on, active military conflict. We work in those spaces too for babies and toddlers.
And you're not afraid to go anywhere or do anything?
Not really.
Not really?
I think I should be, but I'm not.
Okay, so where does this book come into place? Hanging by a thread, and which is how I feel now after reading the book. I feel like, how can I not do something? I need them to feel what I'm feeling right now.
Sure, and this book is the journey of Saving Moses. So Saving Moses, we think about Moses in the Nile River, 3 months old. You know, he's about ready to be eaten by crocodiles. Pharaoh's daughter collects him out and saves his life. But she didn't know who she was saving. Right? I mean, just some random cute little baby who's crying and needs help. But that little baby went on to liberate Israel, went on to do the 10 Commandments, did Mount Sinai, wrote Genesis through Deuteronomy. We don't read Genesis through Deuteronomy without Moses. Wow. So this idea of babies and toddlers, we don't know. We don't know who the next Moses is.
Yes.
So that's the idea of it. And this book is the journey of Saving Moses, really up to the current scenario where we're at today.
Tell me a little bit about the malnutrition that you've seen, and it almost seems unbelievable here in our Western culture, and the story of Angelina.
Yeah, so I was in Angola, and at that time Angola had one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world. So babies, you know, probably around 10, at that time, maybe 10 to 15% of the babies were dying because of malnutrition, simple. And that's hard for us to get our head around, particularly in America, because we don't see, you know, babies that have ribs that are xylophone cages. We don't see like little knobs for knees and strings for legs, or, you know, we don't see that. But I went to Angola and we were visiting a remote area of Angola, and I met this doctor who was super upset. Why are you here? I'm like, well, you know, we came to see what you're doing. Well, did you bring medicine? No. Did you bring money? No. Then why are you wasting my time? And I'm like, well, why are you rude? You know, I thought, like, what's your deal? Yeah. And come to find out, she had her whole, basically PQ, pediatric infant, you know, whatever, was, had been packed for the weekend. And all but 2 of them had died.
Wow.
So she was pretty much at wit's end. And there was one left, her name was Angelina. And she said, well, could you donate blood? And I'm like, well, of course we'll donate blood. And our photographer, who had universal donor, all that, he donated blood. And we're like, whoa, we saved it. You know, we're here to save the day, saving Angelina, saving, you know. And within 6 hours, even after receiving his blood, she still died. Which, you know, you're like, you know, I don't know. I just, it hit.
You saw her eyes.
Yeah, and she just was like terror in her eyes. I mean, she'd look at you just like pleading, help me. And you know, you don't go through that, and it changes you.
So what does Saving Moses do?
Yeah, so from that moment on, I said, I'm committed to providing malnutrition formula. Specific formula for babies with malnutrition. So we support 6 malnutrition clinics in Angola. We opened as well about a year and a half ago in Congo for malnutrition. So that's a really powerful thing. Wow. And then we also do something called night care. Yes. And nobody does night care.
Yeah, tell us about night care.
So in America, we have daycare. Moms take their babies, toddlers to daycare while they work. Well, the same idea, but in developing countries for sex workers. And sex workers in developing countries, these are countries that are the poorest countries in the world. And these moms, they are in the prostitution industry, sex working, because they don't have an alternative. They can't read, they can't write, they have no vocational training. And a lot of these places, the unemployment is just ridiculous, 20% unemployment. So what are these girls going to do? And so they wind up being sex workers. They wind up having babies, because kind of goes with the industry. And then a lot of times those babies are on the bed with her as she's working, because she doesn't have resources. I mean, she is subsistence living. I mean, day to day, she's doing what she's doing to eat, basically. And it's hard for us to get our head around that, but that's the reality. And so we have night care. We provide a safe place for these babies and toddlers while mom works. What I found is a lot of people are like, well, you should help the moms. And there are loads of organizations that do help the moms. There's not one, hear me, there's not one organization that does anything for these babies and toddlers, that specifically concentrates on these babies and toddlers. And so I'm like, sign me up, I'll do night care. So we bring them in, we give them dinner, we give them a little bath, have some playtime with them, circle time, then we put them down for bed. They sleep through the night, and moms pick them up in the morning when they're done working.
You tell a story in your book about walking through the streets, and you saw children sleeping in the street with rain coming down on them, unattended to, while the parents work.
Babies.
Babies.
Like I saw a 16-month-old baby, I think it was about 16 months, who knows, because they don't wear like labels, like unattended, sleeping on cardboard. And it's at nighttime, and I'm walking to go down the street with some of my friends. We're in Phnom Penh. I'm going down to get like
ice cream.
Ice cream, exactly, at the Blue Pumpkin. That's the name of the little ice cream shop. And I almost tripped over these babies, and there's nobody there. And I remember I had my iPhone, and I was like shooting the picture, like taking the video. I'm like, the babies, here's the street. There's nobody here.
Cars.
Cars, motorcycles.
People, strangers.
Exactly.
Bad people.
Exactly. And I was appalled. I mean, appalled. Because I'm like, who is looking after these kids, this baby right here? And so it's pretty unraveling.
Well, and then you open up your first night care, and you were shocked at the numbers of children that you had in there. It wasn't the numbers you thought that you would have. You thought everybody would just be running to put their babies in, but they were asking these questions. And these, are you going to kidnap my toddler and sell her into the sex industry?
Right.
Are you going to kill my baby and sell his organs on the black market? Are you going to hurt my baby when you give her a bath? These are the questions that they're asking as they're going off into the sex trafficking industry.
I know. And I'm like, and so I didn't appreciate, you have to earn trust.
Yeah.
And once I started to kind of get my head around that a little bit, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And it just takes time. And building connection, building relationships. Day in and day out. I do what I say. I'm careful, I'm conscientious. I invite the moms to come and visit, see what we're doing. We're open, we're not, and we're very careful on protecting who comes in, so not everybody can come to our night care. I mean, we're very, very careful about that. So it's really good.
How do I get involved? What do I do? My heart is aching for them. I want some sort of action step. What can I do besides just even praying?
Sure. There's a lot of things, and I think obviously money is a really big deal. $38 a month helps us provide malnutrition formula for a baby, or does night care for a whole month. Think about daycare in America. We could do night care overseas for $38 for 1 month for a baby. That's pretty powerful. But the other thing, some people are like, well, I can't do money, but social media is a really powerful resource. So we're all on social media. We've got Instagram, Facebook. Share stories. And if you want to come with us, every year in July, we take a team to Cambodia. And we limit it, so it's like a small group. If you want to come and participate, there's a application process, and of course we do background checks.
Yes.
Hello. But I invite people to come and participate with us on all of that.
Wow. Is there hope in
Yes.
the midst of the darkness?
Yes.
Is it too overwhelming? Is it too big? Is it too dark? Or can we actually make a difference?
I think we can make a difference. Genuine love makes a difference.
Yeah.
Genuine love creates a fork in the road for life and not
Yes.
death.
That's right. Genuineness. Thank you so much for all that you do and your heart for the world and for the babies, the helpless ones, you know.
Right.
Thank you for all that you've done. We're going to hear more from Sarah in just a moment. And I hope that your heart is stirred. I hope that you're moved. I hope that you want to awaken and open your eyes to see the state of the world and how God can use you to help people.